Yeah, yeah. Yes, yo. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Football Power Hour, your new favorite destination for exclusive Premier League content, selected football match news from around the world, football banter, match previews, Manchester United match reviews or recaps, fan talk. We got it all right here on the Football Power Hour with your host with the most. I got some flowers for you, actually. Here you go. Here are your flowers. Let me give you your flowers. There we go. You deserve that for joining me today. We are reviewing Manchester United versus Crystal Palace. Oh my God, that is loud. There's some loud flowers. We are reviewing Manchester United versus Crystal Palace, a game that happened on December 5th, 2021, and at Old Trafford. Manchester United secured that 1-0 victory, baby. So big shout out to everybody involved in that. Make sure you hear me right. I said we are reviewing Manchester United versus Crystal Palace, the game that happened on December 5th at Old Trafford in front of 73,000 plus fans and millions around the world watching. It was a very tight, stiff, and even affair between the two teams. Ralph Rangnick's Red Army literally fought so hard. We saw 32 minutes of, that's not the sound that I wanted to play, but this is the sound that I wanted to play. We saw 32 minutes of Ralph Rangnick, rock and roll. Yeah. It was incredible to watch. It was 32 minutes of, like, is that really my team? I know the Man United faithful around the world were wondering. Stance was wondering. He was just like, is that our team? I was watching the game with my friend who's a Chelsea supporter, and he said, okay, something is different. Just about 20 minutes in, we were winning corners. We were high, the ball was high up the field. The first 10 minutes was a little bit back and forth, but right after that, it was all first one court, for one what is it? Half pitch. We're playing half court, baby. That's what it is. Half court rock and roll. Oof, that was beautiful to watch. Big shout out to everybody that took part in that game in the Manchester United squad, because you guys literally gave us a very entertaining 90 minutes. Of course, there was a time when Crystal Palace kind of fought back and kind of put themselves into the picture, but it was a very, 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 very entertaining game with the unlikely Fred, fabulous, ferocious Fred, to be the difference maker. We gotta give you your flowers. We gotta give you your flowers, Fred. You deserve that. You deserve that and more. You deserve all the roses. Fred, you've been killing it. The last 2-3 games, you've been killing it. Under Coach Carrick versus Chelsea, you did really well. It was very, very refreshing to watch, because we won the ball about 12 times in the opposition half, which is about the last time we did that was around, say, Alex Ferguson's era. So big shout out to bringing that DNA back. Double R, Ralph Rangnick, baby. This high pressing, high defensive backline allowed Manchester United to have a more direct and aggressive style, which was primarily because our attacking layout was, the spaces between the players were very, very narrow, and that narrow formation allowed the players, any player that had the ball, to have a lot more passing lanes available, and that allowed a lot more direction or progression of the ball, which was what we saw a lot from Diego Dallo and from Alex Telles. So big shout out to y'all. We lined up in a 4 triple double R, put us in a 4-2-2. He literally deployed the same Red Army that Michael Carrick had, but arranged them differently. It was beautiful to watch. 2 inverted number 10s, Bruno Fernandes and Jadon Sancho, and that was the key to kind of making this formation work against Crystal Palace, that was most of the time defending with a 4-4-2 formation, a compact 4-4-2 formation. The two inverted number 10s allowed a lot of space and involvement for the fullbacks, because the left center back and the left back was very concerned about Bruno from Crystal Palace. And so what happened was Diego Dallo had a lot of the ball. Sometimes he'd overlap, sometimes he'd cut inside. And a lot of times from that underlapping decision, we saw Diego had a shot on goal with his left foot. We saw Alex take a shot off from outside the box too. So we are talking about a really refreshed fullback involvement. And thank you so much, Double R. I won't stop until I have to. We saw the same McFruno midfields that we're used to. And as I mentioned that Bruno was one of the inverted number 10s. This was so important because what happened was when the ball was onto the left side of David De Gea, what happened? Scott McTominay would be a little bit deeper. No, Fred would be sitting a little bit deeper, and Scott McTominay would sort of occupy the number 8 position. And then whenever it switched to De Gea's right hand side or the right hand side of the field, Fred would be Scott McTominay would be sit a little bit deeper, and Fred would be like pressing a lot higher and winning the balls up the field. So this was very important in terms of neutralizing the threat of Conor Gallagher, Kouyaté, and also Benteke. And the main thing was the depth of field. This is the point that I'm trying to explain, that the depth that they created, they didn't always sit side by side as we've seen in recent times. We saw Manchester United a few months ago, like especially under Ole, they play the 4-2-3-1 formation a lot, and sometimes it was almost like they were moving always as a pair and always like as if they're tied together. But this time, that depth, that verticality allowed them to anticipate passing lanes easier, and sometimes even just throw off the Crystal Palace attacking phase and just sort of tell them to go to another side of the field where maybe Fred is sitting a little bit deeper, and then it would be the same situation, and then would win the ball back quickly. This was a very, very entertaining pattern. And thank you to that 4-2-2. Both managers, I have to say, that they're fairly new to their teams. So the players, we watched 22 players that were adapting to fairly new systems. Patrick Vieira, on one hand, has had about 5 months with his team. So it was clear. It was clear that they were well drilled. They were stubborn, resolute, and just stiff as a defense, They wouldn't have clear-cut chances. Say, for example, Ronaldo in the first half, he had a quarter chance, a half chance. It wasn't always sort of like it's a clear one-on-one. Everybody's cancelled out. The defense line is cancelled out of the equation, and now it's time to score. So they denied us those clear-cut chances. So big shout out to Patrick Vieira for that. Thinking about Patrice Evra for some reason. And I'm going to give you a siren and a couple of explosions, not because you're black, but also because you're black. There's not a lot of black representation in the Premier League in terms of managers. We need more of that. We need that really good manager from, is it Senegal? The guy with the dreads? I forgot his name. My brother from another mother and father. I seen you working. I want to just give you your flowers too. Big shout out to you. We need you to come to the Premier League. Newcastle, somebody pick him up. Championship, somebody pick him up. So moving on real quick. The police right now, they're still looking for, there's a police report that was filed. They're still looking for Wilfred Zaha because he was last seen with Diego Dallo hanging out on the Manchester United flank. So please, if you seen Zaha, please let him know. I didn't mean to play that one, Zaha. My fault about the donkey's hell. But yeah, I just want to give a big shout out to Diego Dallo for neutralizing Zaha, because this is a very dynamic, explosive player. So we enjoyed knowing that it's not only Aaron Wan-Bissaka that can pocket players, So I hope that Zaha makes it back to Selhurst Park in good shape. Our standout player, as I mentioned, was our homie Fred. He had a very high work rate, closing down passing lanes, and a lot of sometimes sniffing the ball out from the opposition. He was getting forward when we were on the ball, anticipating those lanes and taking long shots. On the 23rd minute, he had a shot from outside the box with his dominant foot, and I believe that shot was on target, Fred. I know if the Crystal Palace defender does not block it, that ball is going in. He had 7 tackles, 72 passes, and 48 passes in the opposition half. This is the highest than any other player. No, the first 2 stats are the highest than any other player that was on Old Trafford that day, and the third stat, the passes in the opposition box, is the second highest for any player that was on the field that day. So big shout out to you for that, my brother, for shooting them up and being like, I am fabulous Fredinho. And he was such a beautiful player to watch that game. His performance was so incredible, especially because you've been getting a lot of steak. So big shout out to you, Fred. Anybody that's been getting a lot of steak, haters talking about you, people saying this, blah blah blah. Yo, just like put your head down, do your thing. Like ferocious, fabulous Fred. Let's learn from it. So the standout flair moment of the game to mention real quick, that it deserves honorable mention, was big boy Scotty McTominay. He took a not one, not two, but 3 Crystal Palace players in the first half in the opposition box. I saw that. That was a display of confidence. I want to reward that and give you your flowers, Scotty. Please keep doing more of that. Dig a little bit deeper. Get that school, that skill coach tutoring you. If you don't need, if you know you got it in you, actually, Scott McTominay, show us. It's time. You got a brand new slate, brand new chapter, pretty much. So big shout out to Scott McTominay for that. We need to see more of that. That's all I want to say. Take people on in the midfield. Surprise them. Don't be like, because you know how Matic is a player that, like, the opposition, when Matic has the ball, especially last 2 seasons, the tactics were almost like, don't press Matic because we know, like, he won't do anything crazy. But like, it feels like once Matic retires, Scotty, you might take that role if you don't develop this skill. And you don't need a crazy skill. You need maybe just to like work on that body feint. With the moments where like sometimes you get a ball and all you need to do is just, instead of shooting, just like fake shot, stop the ball, let the defender pass, and then release the shot. Moments where you need to actually now like release the ball like to somebody, like try a little chip pass. Just, I know you got the passing range in you. I'm one of the few Man United faithful that believe in you, that know that like deep down Scotty got it. So I must spend. That's how much time I'm gonna spend on you for this recap. The big shout out was also to the sub that made the difference. The impact sub of the game was Mason Greenwood. Boy, when that pass came, that driven direct pass from Diego Dallo came, Mason had 3 or 4 touches. First touch was to quell the ball, the sting of the ball. Second one was to drift into a dangerous space into the box. Third one was to stop and turn and kind of like it was almost like a trap the ball and then weighted pass, a pullback pass to Fabulous Fred. Those 4 efficient touches were so important. They sucked 3 or 4 Crystal Palace. They swarmed Mason Greenwood, and what happened was there was a little bit of space, and Ferocious Fred was smart enough not to take a touch and just hit that ball, not with power but with finesse, and he found the back of the net. And I mentioned the fresh fullback frontier that we have. The fullbacks added a very new dimension to our attacking gameplay. It's just a really exciting future ahead for the fullbacks, because this is a football game of the fullbacks nowadays. So big shout out to y'all. Diego Dallo, Telles, you haven't been getting much game time, especially under the previous regime. So I hope the double R keeps rewarding you. Also, especially if you keep taking those crosses from deep, we have Cavani, we have Ronaldo, we have aerial threat ability that we do not take advantage of in Manchester United. So those fullbacks need to show that they can. Or on the other hand, Aaron, get your coaching, get a special coach, get a little tutor, go on Craigslist, be like, I need a crossing tutor. somebody that can really replicate those game conditions where you don't have the ball, it's not stopped, it's not, you're not, nobody's not pressing you, you're crossing, making a decision to put the ball in a certain space and hitting it in a place where you're not fully in control of the situation, but you have the ball. Because we need somebody that can sort of just give you that, because he's got it. I know when we play one of Ollie's last games, when we played that back three versus Tottenham, no, it was this versus Spurs. I feel it was versus Spurs when Nuno's last game, I believe, or one of Nuno's last games as manager for Spurs. Aaron was one of the fullbacks. He was an attacking fullback, and he had a lot of dribbling flair moments that came out, that there were a lot of 1-2s that, like, really happened almost sort of seamlessly, but it's just a matter of just getting that final product out. So please, Aaron, talk to him, talk to the coaches, go on Craigslist over there, my brother. I was just want to go back to Diego Dallo and just say, remember the Prophet Mourinho said that about him in 2018. He said probably he can follow Gary Neville in his dynamica of more than 10 years as United's right back, with amazing conditions to improve, because as I was saying, he's only 18 years old. And this was when, Diego Dallo was fresh at Manchester United without getting that experience at AC Milan, and he was really impressive in his loan spell over there. So this is your time to shine, Diego. Diego Dallo, my Portuguese brother. Irmão, Telles was very vital with. I want to also just mention your involvement with your set pieces. Very, very dangerous crosses. Very dangerous. You actually had a moment where you hit the crossbar from a free kick, a very acute angle free kick. We need more of that. Let it come. I put my money on you, Telles. You're gonna score in the next few games. If it's not against Norwich, against Brighton, one of these few games, Telles or Dallo is going to score a really nice screaming. I put my money on it. Stamps is asleep right now, but he put his money on it too. I don't know what money we got, but we put in some money. So Ronaldo had a few. I talked about this, that there's a very beautiful kernel of what's to come in the future. So when we play that half court soccer, half court rock and roll, Ralph Rangnick, double R, in your face football. I said soccer because I was thinking about Chris Armas, who's coming from where I am in the United States, and we're gonna need to create a little special section for you, Chris. Like literally that moment, as I was just saying soccer, it's just like we need to create a section in the show called the Red Sofa, where we send a player to the red sofa because they gotta be in the red sofa. So jot that down. I'll jot that down. Anyway, so Maguire and Lindelof had many chances where we had many passes where they were looking forward, passing the ball and being more direct. And this was so good to watch because they're one of these players that do a lot of square passes, a lot of back passes to David De Gea, and that has led to sometimes them looking very, very poor. And that's why I just want to just give a big shout out to them and just say, you having that rock and roll football in your mind will give you that sweet like ability to shine, because you'll be playing a lot more in the opposition half. You'll be playing a lot more away from the box where you're prone to making mistakes. You, Harry, I'm looking at you, Harry. We need you closer to the halfway line over there, far away from home. Okay? El Capitan Harry. Man, your performances, it's all good. We're human. Let's move forward because we're focusing on the Crystal Palace game right now. I just want to say the double R did mention that he was positively surprised by the adaptation of how quickly the players executed the plan, and because there was only one training session and a 45-minute Zoom session, that they had, and they managed to follow new technical information and instructions and execute it well. So I just want to give some flowers, send these flowers out from Massachusetts on a plane all the way to Norway, because Ole, you deserve these flowers. The fact that you didn't stick to one attacking system allowed us to have a very high technical knowledge and IQ, and also Jose Mourinho, because Jose Mourinho is a very adaptive coach. He's not always proactive. He's a very reactive coach. So, especially at Man U in his last tournament anyway. So it was very interesting to see that we've played so many different systems and formations that the players are very, very alert to that. So this would have been a very much more difficult job for Ralph Rangnick, say, if he was taking over, say, uh, let's see, say like another team, like say, I don't know, Leeds. Or maybe Leeds actually a little bit on the rock and roll because they're a little bit over the else. But like, there's like certain coaches, say Liverpool actually is, well, Liverpool, never mind. Liverpool is closer to his style too. I'll say Chelsea. There we go. Chelsea. Chelsea's a little bit different, even though Tuchel is one of your descendants. There's something that's to be said about, like, being able to execute, being able to absorb new technical information and execute it well. So the Man United collective global football technical IQ is relatively higher than most teams, and we have to credit that to the previous regimes. Van Gaal, I guess the side to side Scott McTominay passing, Van Gaal, I'ma blame you. Mourinho a little bit took advantage of that. He saw that and figured out how to make Scott McTominay sort of become like uh, uh, an important cog wheel to the machine by making that pass and opening up space to, like. But that, I feel like Mourinho had a very specific plan for that, in terms of just sort of having a very um, a midfielder that's more skillful and more that's able to sort of take advantage of how that 1-2 passing, very simple passing into space, is very effective and necessary in football, because that's actually the best way to move the ball forward. I just want to also just give you a shout out, Oli, and say the group has a very strong and calm comeback mentality that you have built and cultivated. A lot of times this season we've conceded first. As Manchester United followers, most of the time we don't panic because we know we're gonna come back. So big shout out to you, Jordan Ayew. If you make that goal, the chance in the 75th minute, it's a very, very different game. It's a draw. I have been a loss for Manchester United. So big shout out to Patrick Vieira. You're doing a very good job, my brother. And I said it. Now I'm gonna mention you again, not because you're black, but also because you're black. Right? Patrick Vieira deserves some flowers. Yeah, Patrick. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining me in today. Oh, how can we forget? We gotta end the show with the very, 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 very awesome section that I love, called Troll Time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my favorite part of the show. This is the reason why I made a show. This, football banter is part of the game, and it's not because I like bullying. I encourage it, and by no means I do not. But I know that the trollers out there in the streets. So I just want to just say the first thing that I saw on the troll trenches on Twitter was the fact that Fred could win the Ballon d'Or because Fred has more goals than Harry Kane, than Lionel Messi that day, at least when he got it. So I know you chilling, Fred. You got more league goals than Harry Kane. So big shout out to you, Lord Fredinho. The second moment of troll time really was when I saw a statement that said Fred finally found his Brazilian passport. They said it was mixed with Ronaldinho's. I was just like, I can't. So I hope you're gonna keep showing them that Brazilian passport, Fred. Bring it to Norwich. Bring it on. Bring it to all the Premier League games and the Champions League games, because like we need you to show them and stamp that passport right there at the Stratford end, be like, "This is me." I saw Fred. This was the celebration that Fred made. Which is so dope, to watch. So big shout out to you, my brother, Irmão. Thank you, Lord Fred. And then the very, very last moment of troll time is big yo. This one just goes out to the Manchester United. Before that, this one, we have to just say the video and sound guy at Manchester United, you need to do a better job. That post-match conference, video quality and sound quality. I know my setup and all of that. We're still on the come up. This is the first, stream of the channel, but that quality, my brother, my sister, that's got to improve. You have to do better. You have to do your job, okay? Because while we in almost 2022, and the video quality of Manchester United is worse than the ISIS videos. Man, that had me tight for a second. I was like, wait, what? They said the resolution is of the video quality resolution is lower than ISIS videos from under the cave. Under the cave. So, I literally laughed and then I got tight. And I was just like, hey, we deserve better. I've bought Manchester United regalia. I have you've bought Manchester United merchandise. This is a rich club. Why? Why do we have such poor quality? When I get mad, sometimes I just say, look at Stamps, and Stamps says, yo, don't fret about a thing, cause every little thing is gonna be all right. Don't fret about a thing, cause every little thing is gonna be all right. Also, Double Lowry's here. Don't fret about a thing, cause every little thing is gonna be all right. Yes, that's the Manchester United versus Crystal Palace match review. Don't forget to hit a subscribe and like matter of fact, don't subscribe. This is the first stream, first show. I may just start it as a trend and be like, don't subscribe. Just leave. Thank you for joining me. You deserve some flowers. Football Power Hour, ladies.